How you doing? Thralls of Metal here. I'm Jammin Jon. This is actually my first solo review for this channel, so I'm kind of stoked on it. Number one reason I'm kind of stoked here is I get to review Fit for an Autopsy's new album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts. Released October 25th, 2019. Their fifth album release, but their first album release on a more major label. They're on Nuclear Blast now, coming off of E1 Music. As of course you know, from Jersey City, New Jersey, the record was again mixed and produced by their founding guitarist Will Putney, whom in reading I found has mixed and produced all of their records. He's no slouch on this album for sure. If anything, I would call this his best album to date as far as production is concerned. The record sounds very clear, very polished, yet still maintains a grit sound, which is really good for metal. Very atmospheric. I think this whole album, you could say, like if you were standing in the middle of a forest and this album was recorded and they did open air mics and it just picked up everything in the background. I think that would be kind of like what this album is, except instead of crickets, it's cool guitar tones. These guys are labeled as deathcore. I haven't been a fan of deathcore in a long time, mostly because deathcore has always sounded like it did on the way in, just like it sounded like it did on the way out. Heavy, fast, blasty, but no dynamic. In the case of this album, they definitely are all across the map anymore. Melodic deathcore, melodic death metal, reminding me a lot of, say, like newer Rivers of Nile, which was cool. That's not what I would classify as deathcore, but cool. Anyway, we'll just get down right out of the gate. This comes swinging with the lead-in track, Sea of Tragic Beasts. Just huge pummeling, genty riff to start out with. Really flows really well into a whole litany of different parts. Dissonance is another thing I can say about the overall tone of this record. Atmospheric dissonance, which doesn't lose any instrumentation in it. Again, very well leveled parts that meld well into one another. Really, it's what I could say about the next following 5 tracks on the album. It generally progresses into something better. In the second track, guitar solos appear for the first time. They're not as long as I think they could be, but they're done really well and really tastefully. I hope to see them incorporate that more into upcoming albums. 100%. The next track that really stands out to me is Unloved. It's the shortest song on the album. It's a 2-minute and 46-second barn burner that'll just straight punch you in the face, which is great for this band, which they like doing, but again, even so, it's not so much just deathcore as it is a multitude of other great sounds. If you want to really, really talk about melodic, though, a song that definitely stands out for that, perhaps the most melodic, perhaps even my favorite on the album, is the track called Mourn. Starts off with a really solid, like, harmonized lead that goes directly into the chorus. Actually, it kind of reminded me, it's oddly enough reminiscent of really early As I Lay Dying in the Shadows of Security era. Also has one of my most favorite breakdowns on the album, just heavy as nuts. Really, really heavy, really ballsy. The drums take a lot of different directions during this breakdown, where sometimes it's syncopated with the riff, sometimes it plays behind it, sometimes it plays in front of it, which is really cool. Reminds me a lot of the Contortionists in their Exoplanet days. I can't say bad things about any song on this album, which is a first for me, because usually I have some things that I don't like. I mean, I guess I could say that overall I don't like the fact that a couple of the songs are too short. They trail off a bit too soon, where I think they could have definitely progressed a little bit farther with those parts. Because this band is all about playing the dynamic card right now, I don't know if I would want to shorten songs. The last track too, the lead out for this album, it sounds like something from Gojira in either the magma portion of their career, or even like one of the slower tracks off of From Mars to Sirius. Beautiful vocals, really, really atmospheric, but singing for the most part. It doesn't really deviate outside of a clean tone, and when it does, it's really brief. Again, I don't have a whole lot of complaints, other than the fact that a couple of songs are short, and that not a lot of guitar solos appear, which, again, like I said, the ones that do appear are tastefully done, very well written, very precise. The guitar tone on them is great. It's got a lot of good feel to it. So I would have liked to have seen some more guitar solos. I would have liked to have seen maybe just a little bit longer of songs, but it's not enough to kill the album for me. Just a great listen. I'm really, really happy. I'm really excited to see where these dudes go as far as what comes next for them in their career. And I know that they were just recently on tour, or might even be on tour currently. I'm not 100%, but if they come around, go see them, because I guarantee they're going to play some shit off this record, and it's going to kick your ass. So, overall, I give this album 4.5 stars out of 5. It was just a brilliant, brilliant album. And again, definitely if you're fans of like early Contortionist or Gojira, definitely check out this record, because it's a brand new feeling for these guys. It's not what you're used to out of this band, so I would really state just go for it. Anyway, that's all I've got for this album. Really, if this is your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We do stuff like this all the fucking time, so if you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like what you saw, don't give it a thumbs up. Did they make a little middle finger emoji? Don't flip us off. Anyway, thanks for being here with me tonight on my first solo review. I hope you like it. You all have a phenomenal night. This is Jammin Jon with Thralls of Metal. Take care.